Better. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that. I don't know what the heck the problem was. Everything was plugged in. I just pulled it out of the USB and put it right back in, and it's still lit up like normal. So I was telling you at the beginning of the show that it was a crummy couple hours leading up to the show, and so it actually just kind of rolled right into the beginning of the show as well. So, well, of course, it sounds great, Scott. It's the microphone. You got me. It is awesome. Still with me here in Ohio. Next weekend, I do plan to drive down to Florida for my last cruise there until I have to move a few things out of the house when it sells. But what I tried to also tell you at the beginning of the show is that I'm going to try to keep things short tonight because, we've got the big Columbus thing going on tomorrow and on Saturday. And I'm actually going to be driving over to Berkey's tonight because I'm driving down to Columbus with him. And I thought it'd be better to go there this evening and not try to race over there in the morning and then try to get down to the Billy Ireland Museum by around 12:30 since I wanted to get there before everybody else. So that's the part you missed out on when I was talking to myself earlier. And it's been such a hectic evening. I haven't even really been able to work up much of a to-do list as well, but I have stuff to talk about. And I don't want to forget anything. So I'll do my best not to. So that intro bit that I played, I was going to play that later. That was just my the photographs I took while I was at San Diego. I knew many of you would recognize yourselves in that one. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you probably saw a lot of those already. But I wanted to put that together so that those of you who aren't friends with me on Facebook could also enjoy all the selfies and whatnot that we took while we were in San Diego. Sorry, guys, but yeah, so very eventful thing. But one of the things from Dueling Dealers last night was when Mike and I let you guys know that the Black Canary had finally sold. So we're not going to tell you who bought it. Hopefully they'll end up putting it on calf. But it's like another memory from Dueling Dealers. A fond memory, a moment from the show that has gone out into the public. Like one of those photos from San Diego was Marcus holding the Bill Lash page and. Of course, he had his Gap shirt on and everything else. So it's fun to have those works of art, those fond memories out there. So with the Black Canary, but before Mike mailed the Black Canary, I was over at his house when he had to put it in the mail. So we recorded a quick little clip here with the Black Canary just to thank the buyer of that artwork.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. Just wanted to let everybody know that right after last Wednesday night's Dueling Dealers show, a collector bought this piece of artwork because it was on our Dueling Dealers show last week.
So thank you so much to our fans. This is going to make its way to a brand new home, and we couldn't be more proud. Thanks for that thumb in my face.
Dueling Dealers.
There it goes again. Son of a gun. Yeah, Berkey always hogging the limelight there with his thumb. So there you go. Again, I think it'll probably end up on calf. Did Mike sign it? No, he did not sign it, Matt. But he did put it out there because it wasn't for sale. It literally had sold like 30 minutes after the show, so we were laughing and it got the prelim and everything. So at any rate, another bit of Dueling Dealers history out there in the wilds. So. Yes, I did sign the Virgin Vamp books for you, Mr. Easy Go Lucky, when we were in San Diego. It was my pleasure. I'm happy to do it. So what else we got? Gosh, I'll tell you, it's just been a crazy night. But so I'm just going to kind of roll through some of this stuff. I mean, one thing that has been fun if you're friends with Jeff Wedding or Daryl or Matt, all on Facebook, you've seen some pictures of some recent visits that people have been making to Vegas, because there's like a Vegas contingency of collectors that are welcoming any of you that go to that city, as long as you let them know in advance that you're going to be attending anything in Vegas or just passing through. A long layover, in fact, will solicit a potential you'll be absconded off to a local bar, someplace fun, maybe to look at some artwork. And so again, if you got a trip going to Vegas and you know how to reach out to all three of those guys, Daryl R., Jeff Wedding, and Matt Kennedy, all on CAF. If you're heading out that way, just email one of them through CAF and let them know when you're going to be there, and they will try to form a Comic Art Fans welcome party for just you. And they'll take you out, they'll wine and dine you, and you'll get to look at some art. You'll have to pay your own way, but they'll treat you right. So they put together a little video montage of the last three guests that have been through Vegas. And it's all Larry's fault, says Jeff. Well, we'll see. But here is the video clip. They put it together. I just added some music to it to kind of make it sound a little bit more fun. But it was fun without the music. So here, let's take a look at this Vegas, the Vegas chapter of Comic Card Fans hosting a few friends. Yeah, Jason, when you go to Vegas, let me know. You'd be fun to hang out with there, I imagine. Not much of a card player though, so I would just watch anybody else gamble. But I always have a good time when I go to Vegas. So I was actually going to be there late September, but my friend had to cancel his trip, so my trip was canceled as well. So no Vegas trip for me this year. But hopefully in the new year, I can make my way out there. It'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, like I said, Columbus has been on my mind a bunch. I mean, for those of you who are going to make it, and probably not a lot of you in the chat, Tyler, I know you're going to be there. We've got a really fun, action-packed couple days in store for everybody who's making it out there. I mean, tomorrow at 1 through 5, we've got the tour at the Billy Ireland Museum, which is going to be really cool. They're they're doing these behind-the-scenes tours, and they're only allowed to take 15 people in at a time. So they're going to have to do like these hour-long 15-person groups. I think because I believe we're going to have about 40 people at the Billy Ireland tomorrow. So it's going to be a lot of fun and very interesting because they're going to be showing that some of the artwork that we've requested will probably be on display within the behind the scenes tour, stuff that they maybe don't want to lay out and put out in the reading room. So it'll be good. So, and I should let anybody know if they're arriving a little bit late, just I put my phone number in the itinerary. So if you're running late, I'll be happy to kind of meet you at the door, and we'll make sure you get to where you need to go while you're at the Billy Ireland Museum tomorrow. And then we've got a dinner plan tomorrow. I've got reservations for 35 people at 7 o'clock. So we're going to have a good time with that. We're going to do an in-person Dueling Dealers match between Mike and Anthony back in my room at like 10 o'clock. So that's going to be fun. If the internet's good, I'll try and live stream it just for fun. But anybody in the chat won't be able to, of course, claim anything. It's just for the people in the room at the time. But it'll be interesting if we can actually live stream it. It'll get recorded one way or another. And then, of course, Saturday we have that Comic Art Live in-person con from 10 until 2:30, which is I I think we're going to end up having about 50 people show up, believe it or not. It was really meant to be just a collector meetup, but and it is by and large mostly collectors. But I've got some dealers that are setting up there as well. So it's kind of taking on a life of its own, a little bit more than I was expecting. So there's already conversations going on the side about potentially making this kind of an annual thing. Of course, the Marvel exhibit won't be there, but the Billy Ireland's always there. And, rather than having a 4.5 hour meet and greet, art review for everybody, we could maybe extend that into something more like an 8 or 9 hour affair. So yeah, it's going to be a really good time. And we will definitely photograph and videotape as much as we can. The VIP edition for Dueling Dealers, I don't know. In person is probably just going to be a complete mess, worse than a recap ever has been. But it'll be interesting to do it. And I just thought it'd be fun since I know we'll have time in Friday evening to do it. Frank Brockle, calf timeshares are next. And I saw Mikhail's comment earlier about how we'll have houses all over the U.S. eventually. And I think that's the way it should work out. I did hear that the Marvel exhibit, they're not allowed to tell me where it's going next, but the Marvel exhibit is moving from Columbus. I think the last day it's there is around the 10th of September. And they're signing the agreement with where it's going to be within the next week. I literally was talking to Patrick Reed, who along with Ben Saunders and Chuck Costas really put the whole Marvel exhibit together. I was just talking with Patrick because he called to say, was there anything we needed that they could do? And I said, can you tell me where it's going next? And he said, no. At any rate, it will be a West Coast location. So my feeling is even if I can't do a Comic Art Live event there myself, I would certainly encourage those of you on the West Coast when the Marvel exhibit is finally moved and whatnot, to try to organize a similar type of event. I mean, it's fairly affordable to do. You just got to find the right hotel with a decent sized meeting room. I don't know, Ron. I wish I knew. He literally will not tell me until the paperwork's signed. So he just said it's a West Coast locale. So I mean, and that could be anywhere, right? Portland, San Francisco, even down to LA. But yeah, I mean, I told him as soon as he knows, he's got to let me know, because I told him that I would try to work with anybody on the West Coast to try to put together a similar outing. Again, even if I can't be there, there's no reason why not. You just have your own event, and I can give you the pointers that I have learned from putting together this one. So where should I go from here? So I'm just really focused on Columbus. I want to make sure it goes well. And I finally they gave me a floor plan map for the whole thing. It's it's not huge, but it's enough room for about 14 tables and some round table seating areas. And there's actually a room attached to it that they call MacArthur's Pub. There's no alcohol being served there, but it's a whole seating area. So people have a lot of room to kind of sit down as collectors and hang out and look at, check out their portfolios and everything. So it should be a good time. The one thing I did hear, I can tell you this, everybody, is that a big part of the collection is probably not going to be going from Columbus to wherever the West Coast location is. They, one of the people who've donated the artwork apparently wants a lot of it back. So the show's going to change a lot from the artwork perspective. So, and you can imagine who that person probably is that's taking back a lot of their artwork. But at the end of the day, those of you who are getting to make it to the Columbus Marvel exhibit, and if you've seen it prior to that, you're probably getting a really good taste of original comic art. I don't know what stuff's going to be in there when they move it to the West Coast, but we shall see. So moving right along, what else did I want to tell you about? So it has been a rough week, and I know that some people probably thought I got mad at him. Many people I think thought I got very frustrated earlier this week. I really wasn't. I was just kind of in a burned out kind of spot. I'll be really happy when this is over. Just piling this convention on with the move to Florida and everything else, just was a bit much, and it just shows where I need help. If I had somebody who could kind of handle organizing things and talking with the hotel and working with the Marvel exhibit and and the Billy Ireland Museum, I mean, I just kind of stretched myself a little bit thin, and I need some breathing room around here. So I'm really looking forward to getting Ohio in my rearview mirror within the next few weeks. So so that's really where my headspace is, and it's been tough to kind of keep up with business. I mean, my emails, I'm far behind on that, but I'm working as best as I can to get caught up on stuff. But certainly after this weekend is over, I think I'll feel a whole lot better. So you don't, no, I don't hate you, Jason. I don't. I'll go to Vegas with you. If I'll go to Vegas with you, I don't hate you. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good point. West Coast Avengers artwork in the West Coast show. Yeah, I know. But at any rate, so I just want everybody to know that I have been a little short with a lot of people of late, and it's not anything to do with anybody out there but myself. So, so what else we got going on? I mean, after Columbus, I've just got my sights set on getting out of here and getting some things finally packed and moved. Maureen and the kids are having a few issues getting themselves to Europe. That was kind of what was going on in the hours leading up to the show tonight. So there's some passport issues that they're working out. They were supposed to leave, they have not, and so now we're trying to figure out how to work that out so they can get to their big Pokemon Worlds event, which is next weekend. So so yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on up in the air. So my fingers are crossed for my family that they're gonna get everything worked out, because my son's he's definitely going. He was flying separate from the rest of everybody else. He's not leaving till late next week. So at any rate, so with lots of weird stuff going on here, hopefully that will all work itself out. But I'll go ahead and let me talk about the schedule a little bit, because I have a few things that I've added and modified a bit. I've actually put out a few emails asking people about doing the interviews beginning in September again. I had one person put me off till the first of the year, which is cool, and because somebody who I would really like to interview, and I haven't heard back from the two other people I've emailed. So trying to get that Tuesday night interview schedule up and running and started again in September. I know I haven't had one since we did the Dave Mandel interview early in July. So, but I've needed these 2 months off to have those extra nights free. But as far as the sales show schedule goes, as we've been talking about, Mickey Anamontadu and DJ Johnson will be having an amateur match next Monday night at 9 p.m. They are going to have actually 25 artworks apiece. So it's following the same pricing levels as a normal round, but for rounds 1 through 10, they will have 2 artworks. So so we'll probably be doing less on the meme side. I mean, we'll be playing memes, of course, but our focus will definitely be on the artwork. I have seen all the artwork now. They both have posted it, and it's going to be a very good show. I know everybody's going to want to tune in for. So after that, I haven't told the guys yet, but we're going to do a cheaper show on that Wednesday on Dueling Dealers, just because with the con this weekend and the ADD show on Monday, it would just make sense to go with a cheaper show on following Wednesday. Then the special show is coming up on the 27th. It still says Sunday. It's a Saturday, everybody, with Ryan Sook. I'm doing a show with Ryan, and all of the revenue from that, the proceeds from the sales will go to the Hero Initiative. Ryan, so there will be no published work in this. Ryan has put together a set of sketch cards, a set of coasters, and I think he's done one 8x10 piece, and he will be doing another one that will be at request. And if I read the last email right, he and Jim McLaughlin would like me to, rather than sell everything at a fixed price, do them as an auction, everything. So it will be interesting. All the sketch cards look fantastic, and the coasters are cool. The one piece that I saw done was really nice. So I think they're just trying to maximize this opportunity. As we all know, Hero has not made it out to a ton of shows. I think they were at C2E2, but they missed San Diego. I'm pretty confident they're not going to New York. They did go to Heroes, but so this is an opportunity for Hero to raise some money, and an auction platform approach to selling the artwork probably will work better in their favor for this one. And after talking with Jim about it, I think that he's up for doing a Hero Initiative type event like that every other month or so. So look for more of those going on in the future. The 12th of September, I'll have the Neil Adams family on, and we'll be selling some of his published work. There might be a few unpublished pieces as well, but I think they're going to focus more on published pieces when we do that sale. I've got a confirmed date for Bart Sears, and that will be on October 8th. And I did skip over Vosburg. We had some snafus going on with the scheduling there, so I've crossed that one out for the time being. I do believe we'll get Mike on for a show at some point again in the future. But for now, that date has been crossed out. So I wanted everybody to know about that if you had already put it on your calendar. The Gerhard show is going to be, if all things align properly, the 5th of November, Saturday at 2 p.m. Now, the reason that is I've actually had to switch the date that I wanted to have Comic Art Live. As everybody knows, I've been talking about having Comic Art Live on the 19th and 20th of November, the weekend before Thanksgiving. And, about a week ago, I started thinking something about that weekend, other than it being the weekend before Thanksgiving, was bad. And sure enough, I finally figured out what it was. It's the fact that what is it? Heritage has another signature auction after September, and it is that weekend, the 19th and the 20th, or the 17th through the 20th, whatever. So bottom line is we can't put the Comic Art Live virtual con up against a Heritage signature auction. So I've had to move Comic Art Live to the weekend it's always been, which was the 12th and the 13th. Now, the only reason I didn't want to be on the 12th and the 13th was because of Thought Bubble in London, which is a big con there. And I believe there is also another con in the States on that weekend, in part because Kirby's Comic Art couldn't participate last year because of Thought Bubble. But I did email with Annabelle, and she said they are not participating in Thought Bubble this year. So I will finally have Kirby's Comic Art back in the fray with us on the Comic Art Live show, virtual con, the weekend of November 12th and 13th. So I'm very happy about that. They're actually going to be doing something really special for the show as well. You know how they kind of do those, they've done those art sales where they focus on a particular title or character. They are going to be doing that, and that sale will coincide with Comic Art Live. So it should be a lot of fun, and I'm just happy to be able to work with Annabelle again. So we've got that, and I'm still working with Cadence. They've been busy and haven't been getting back to me, but I know that I will have some of their folks on soon. And I did give everybody the wish lists out there that you gave me a few weeks ago. So we'll see. They didn't reply to that email when I told them, whom we wanted. But we'll work through that. And hopefully at some point I will have, somebody concrete in there. And I've got another artist that, I've been talking with, but can't really announce them yet until he gives me a date. So we'll see. JD Dunn. Okay, Jeff. Yeah, you're on. Okay, we'll work that out, Jeff. So please have Cool Lines on to explain their pricing, says Samuel Rojas. I read an interesting thing on the CGC forums that day when I was over there. So yes, I went there one day and I read through probably a dozen threads, and there was a mention about Cool Lines, and it was very succinct and proper way to kind of talk about the way they approach their business model. And you can say, oh, they're dealers, right? Well, at the end of the day, they're collectors who really don't want to sell their artwork. So when you as a buyer approach them, you have to approach it in that way, as if you're, it could be anybody. If I don't want to sell any special pieces in my collection either. And if you come to me and say, Bill, that artwork's worth $2,500, I want it for $2,500. I'm going to tell you, no. And then, so you're going to have to give me the stupid price. And I think that kind of follows in line with the way Cool Lines approach things. They are collectors first and foremost before they're dealers. And so everything they're showing you, by and large, is stuff that's personal to them and in their collection. And they, and I've heard said, like if somebody will say, but Rich, I mean, that's priced too high. And Rich will say, but yeah, in a year from now, it'll be worth that much. And they probably are right. So you're paying a premium typically with the way they approach things. And, when I read it like that, it made a whole lot more sense. I mean, I've known those guys for 20 years and I never really thought about it like that. But now that I have, now that I do, I mean, it makes a little bit more sense on the approach that they have with things. Emotional manipulation is a proud tradition in any collecting hobby. That is very, very true, Samuel. I know they're constantly advertising sales. I know. Hey, that's right. Rich is there every, or he's around. Don't say Steve. Yes, we know what you mean, Marcus. So Rich has his own account now. And they do have a lot of great artwork. So, it's like every hobby, you're not always going to have the easiest time getting the things you want. I mean, some collectors are tough too. I mean, we found that out the hard way just recently, right? That some collectors can be as fickle as some dealers, backing out of deals and complaining about things. And it's just how the hobby is, right? So as Jason just said, trading is much easier. And that's probably very, very true, Jason, because because you've got that emotional leverage on your side too. If you're trading something that you bought that you like for something from them, or really anyone else, you have that chip working for you. Cash doesn't do that. Trade has a little bit more bargaining power because you can play that card a bit. Let's see, Mr. Easy Go Lucky had to email about a price on artwork, and Rich sent me a long price list of the artist I was interested in. Well, that's good. So tomorrow's price is today, Matt. That is the quote. That could be the banner, a slogan, right, right at the booth. But at any rate, I got no problems with the Donnellys at the end of the day. But I felt better when I thought about it like that. It's like that's the best way to explain those guys. And we as collectors know how that is. You're not going to let something go that you don't want to let go unless you're paid stupid money for it. And unfortunately, that's probably where they're at with most of it. So that's how it goes. So what else we got here? Probably not a ton. I mean, like I say, I really tried to keep things pared down because of the way things have been going this week. But anything else in here in the chat? But Jeff, I'll be in touch. And Jeff, I still got to get you that video clip of John Romita Jr. I do apologize to you and Ken for that. I just haven't had the opportunity to kind of find it, number one, and edit it, number two. I mean, it's actually been already uploaded to my Google Drive, but it's in with everything that I uploaded from Heroes, and I just haven't pulled it out to sample it and get it back to you. So I will try as best I can to get it to you after this weekend in Columbus. And I heard Ken might come out. I don't know. When I was talking with Anthony yesterday, he said that Ken might be riding out with him, and I don't know why, but it'd be cool to get to see Ken in person. So maybe I'll get to see Ken in Columbus this weekend as well. Yeah, don't worry, Jeff. It will work. It will work out one way or another very soon. So I'm just checking out my videos here to make sure I haven't missed anything important, but I don't think I have. I think I played all the clips. I wish I would have played the San Diego one a little later rather than as an intro while I was working out my technical difficulties, but that's how that one goes. So outside of that, I do. There was one other thing. Because it happened before I was able to. It was after I finalized the calendar here on the 19th of September. So that's a Monday as well. I will have another show with Jiggy, and that will be on. So that's the 19th of September, 9 p.m. Eastern, a Monday night. Jiggy and I will be doing another kind of group sale with with several of the people on staff. I know he had a really successful art drop just recently with a lot of his artists. We'll be doing something similar with him on the 19th as well. We haven't done one of those in a while. I think, gosh, when was the last time we did one with those guys? It was probably in May. So the summer kind of got away from both of us, but play it again. No. Once is enough. But yeah, so Jiggy and I have been emailing a bit, and they're kind of raring to go. I told him as soon as he has a list of the artists that are participating in that to let me know. And as soon as I have that list, I will relay it to all of you as well. Yeah, all right. So I'm just looking through my calendar here to make sure I haven't missed anything important, and I don't believe I have. So I guess I can get onto the calf update. Shoot, it's only 34 minutes. This thing I could be done in an hour, but that probably will never happen. But so I did let Chris Snork know that he'd probably be getting on early with me tonight. Is Cadence anything I can disclose? It's still in the planning phase. I mean, we met at Heroes and spoke about it directly, and we had been emailing about it for months leading up to that. And we finally got to the point where they said, yep, they want to do it. And now it's just a question. I mean, they were the ones who said, I had said, I gave them a couple artists at that time. I've given them a couple artists since then. They just haven't picked whom they want me to work with, and so, it should be a monthly thing once we get it started, but it's, when will it get started? Hopefully soon. Yes, the last one with Jiggy was fun. And Tatiana, hey, nice to see you. Hey, Tatiana, I've got to get, what do I got here for you? I've got And I did just realize I do have one thing to do before I do the calf update, but it's nice to see Chris in the green room. I have got 3 of these for you, Tatiana, that I have to get in the mail for you. I uncovered them while I was going through a box of extra cards I didn't know I had. So I wanted to get these over to you so you can give them out to your best friends. So but after you sign them, though, of course. So keep that in mind. And even Jason, I found an extra one of you. And who else did I find extra ones from? Found one for Jordan and one for Michael. So I got to get these in the mail to everybody so you can use them as you see fit to give them out. But yes, mail day. And there was one other thing, very cool thing actually. When I was doing a lot of packing in the last week, and one of the things I had to go through was all my old artwork from college. And I'm not going to bore you with my old artwork from college. I literally burned every single piece is gone except for one. I kept one artwork that I did when I was in college. But when I was going through everything, I found a bunch of comic related stuff, and I don't know if I saw Rich Cirillo in there. He would appreciate this, but back in the mid '80s, everything was mail order, right? And I'm trying to figure out if I can. What was the front end of this thing that I got? Oh, here we go. So posters were super duper duper big back in the day, right? And so this was a flyer I got from a place called SQ Productions Inc. And so this was in one of my there's my old address, Brunswick, Ohio, Walters Drive. But advertised in here tons of stuff related to posters, and and I remember buying a lot of that stuff back in the day. The Uncanny X-Men, Incredible Hulk, Art of John Byrne book was in here. But the cool thing, and I actually had this thing hanging on my wall for a while, was that and again, here was like the other part of this flyer, just cool stuff, right? But on the inside of this thing was that classic Michael Golden poster, right? And so I actually, where I had most of my comics, I had this thing kind of thumbtacked to the wall. So I'm keeping that. I didn't burn this. I'm going to keep this one for myself because that's something that. When did I get this? Is probably. I don't think the thing is actually got a date on that thing. Let me see. Nope. But this is probably from '82 or '83. So just cool, finding stuff like this. And I found a bunch of old other collector magazines as well. So other than that, I have 2 things to open, and one from Catskill Comics and one from Mr. Anthony Snyder. The Anthony Snyder one was just something that he posted recently in his recent art updates, and I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. How many boxes has he got here? But I was hoping one day I'd see a Thor by this guy, but instead I've got a DC character. Believe it or not, here, I'll take it out of the plastic since it comes with Anthony's full regalia of sales material. I got that. Wonder Woman by Neil Adams. Very nicely done. It's looks like 8 by 10. One of these days, I'll be able to get a Thor. I'm sure. I know they're out there. But this was really nicely done. And I really did want a Wonder Woman or a Thor. So when I saw that, very happy. And I am the proud owner of this one now. Wonder Effing Woman, I bet you've got at least one of those yourself. Did I find any Playboy bills? I did not. I did not find any Playboys in there at all. So then what do we got here? Okay, this is the one from Catskill Comics. Now this goes back. It's that same old story I've told you so many times. A piece of art that I've looked at, and in this case for more than a year, literally more than a year on his site. I go back to it. Yeah, it's still there. It feels like mine. It's always going to be there. And I think it actually disappeared at one point, but then I went back later and it was back again. So who knows? Maybe somebody tried to buy it and then backed out of it. But Catskill had that Joe Sinnott art sale. I think, when was that? Maybe 3 weeks ago. And this piece has Joe Sinnott inks on it. And I said, you know what? This is finally the moment where I have to pull the trigger, if I can find out where the art is, and buy this piece of artwork. So it's Keith Pollard pencils too. So I don't know, you might be getting kind of a direction on what what the piece is, or at least from what book it might be from. But yeah, I literally looked at this thing for a year, and I just thought it was a great Pollard Sinnott piece of artwork, and I was just stupid. It wasn't like it was expensive either. I just never felt like buying it, because I'm always Mr. Frugal. Here we go. I'll take this thing out of the plastic too. All right, I don't like his plastic already. Jeff, I should send you this as a sample, and you can tell me why it's so wimpy. I mean, it's almost like a sandwich bag kind of material. I don't think I've seen anything like that in a long time. All right, so this is from Fantastic Four 310. And let's just see. So Keith Pollard pencils, Joe Sinnott inks. I mean, I love the middle panel with the space shell, basically. But, I mean, everything about it, I just really liked it. You do get a little bit of the thing in there in one panel. Chris, I know you're looking at this. Yeah. Not enough thing, but it's a good piece, right? I mean, look at that. I love it. Got the Kirby crackle in outer space. I mean, it's just beautiful. So, and honest to God, I looked at this piece for a year. I bet you there's some of you who saw this on Scott's site as well. I mean, it was on there from the day I redesigned it and launched it. I mean, it's probably was on there a year and a half. So, yeah, what are you going to do? But I'm glad that it is now in my collection, because it felt like it was in my collection all that time anyway. So, yes, it is a beauty. Thank you, Lyle and Tony and Rick Welch. I know Pollard is really underrated. I mean, I'd love to get a nice Pollard Thor piece one day. They just don't come up too often. And the ones that do are usually very expensive. I'd like to just find something, interior-wise that's average. So, but those are the ones you don't see too often. And that's not Miss Marvel on that one, actually. I don't even know what character that is. I have to go back and look. I remember reading who that was. Maybe I'm mistaken. At any rate, I do have a piece of Miss Marvel art on hold with Mr. Berkey, though. A really nice piece. So one of these days I'll pick that up. Maybe I should pick that up tonight when I have to drive over to his house. So, yep, love Joe's inks. That is so true, Rob. Sinnott just made everybody look so good. Yeah, I'm really, and I've had this thing for 2 weeks. I forgot to open it up last week. Yeah, it's great. All right, now I can do the calf update. It is just not the one you're thinking. Oh, Sharon Ventura. Oh, okay, got it, Derek. All right, Thor, guys. Let's see. I got a great new framer day today. Found. Oh, that's good. Framers are tough to find, so I'm glad that I'm sure now that you're in Colorado and everything, it is a bit of a hunt to find the right places. So cool. Congratulations on that. All right, now calf update. I'm glad I looked over there. Is there anything else I forgot? No, that's pretty much it. All right, calf update time. So let's see here. Let me roll up on this. This was, we're going to cover the period from August 1st through, oh, wait a minute, wait. See, I am screwing everything up tonight because I don't have everything written down. Chris, you are just going to have to wait another couple minutes, my friend. I know he's giving me the good, thank you. You know what I didn't do? I didn't play the EXP piece, and I've got that sitting right here in front of me in the brand. I've got the EXP, and I've got a quick heritage review to do too. Man. See, I just want this day to end in a weird way, I think that's what my problem is. But I'll do the EXP first before I do the heritage recap, because I got this from the team at Dynamite just before the show and got it reformatted for everybody. So here is what Nick has got available for sale tomorrow on the EXP, 7 o'clock. Remember, you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook. I think you can watch it on Twitch as well. But 7 to 8 p.m., Nick has his awesome show, and one of these days I'll have time to guest star on it with him again. But here is the preview for the artwork that he's got available tomorrow.
Everybody, this Friday, August 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can tell I'm really excited because I got something we've never had before. Now, when we had the free comic book day John Romita Jr. story with Chasm and with Madeline, oh my god, I can't believe I can't remember her name, but it's the Madeline Pryor, the Goblin Queen. I said we would have Amazing Spider-Man #7 cover and complete story to offer when #7 came out. Well, #7's out. It's building up heat for number 7 and number 8, and we are going to have the entire issue plus the cover this Friday. We'll also have plenty of our affordable pieces of art that we have, our introductory pieces of art, but this is a gem. So we are going to have Amazing Spider-Man number 7, and here's the cover. Check it out, Norman Osborn holding Spidey's mask, and then we have select pages. The Vulture is back, and man, he is better than ever. You gotta love, and look at this, the uncomfortable page of Peter seeing Mary Jane. Then we are I'm gonna try and be a little bit more careful. Trust me, because I wasn't more careful putting this up. I dropped these once. Then you have the Vulture eyeing his prey. You've got Spider-Man flying through the air, only like John Romita Jr. can do. Double page spread. Check out how awesome that is. Then we have, check it out, Vulture tears at his Spidey webs. Makes it perfect sense why Spidey is falling through the air. How will he get out of this? Well, you gotta wait till issue 8 to find that out. But on Friday, August 12th at 7 p.m. on The Experience, you can see the original art to 7. So remember what I said before, and if you didn't watch it, I'm telling you now, that Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 4, John and Scott kept. Number 5 was broken up. I got the cover in a couple of pages. And number 6, John and Scott did not work on. Number 7 is available as one complete item, cover and interior pages. I know the person who bought the number 8, he's keeping it, at least for now. And 9 and up, John and Scott are keeping. So this is your only opportunity, as far as I know, and anything can change, this year to get a complete issue with a cover. So Friday, August 12th, 7 p.m. on The Experience. Hit that thumbs up, and I'm looking forward to seeing you there.
And I am as well, but I won't be able to watch because I'll be at that dinner. But Nick is doing a great job over there. So let me go ahead and talk about Heritage. Now, I saw the questions about the weekly flip. I didn't want to do a flip because I actually do have 2 flips in the can. I've got one from Ian St. George and another one from Ted Lantner. And Ted's will be first. It will be next week. Ted's I think was around 11 minutes long, and it's unbelievable. It is a Dave Cockrum bonanza of artwork, and it's gonna blow your mind. I mean, the stuff he shows early is really great, and then when he gets to the end, like one of the last few pieces he shows, just is a jaw dropper. So Ted's will be next week, and then Ian's will be the week after that. So we got those 2 available. But of course, if anybody wants to film a flip or calf cribs, I'm always open to that. Shoot me an email, bill@comicartfans.com, and I can give you all the details on how to put that together. So yes, so I just bypassed the weekly flip because I just know I'm pressed for time tonight. So let me go ahead and do the heritage bit for you. The 10 pieces I picked, these were all like no-brainers. Like I bet most of us would love to have most of these pieces in our collection. This first one, Marvel Team Up from issue 84, really, really classic issue. Sal Buscema pencils, Steve Leialoha inks on this one. You got everybody outside of the carrier there. I mean, I don't know if you read this one off the newsstands. I mean, you'd want a piece of art from this thing. And I think there was actually another page from issue 85 as well, and they're both equally really cool. The other one was more Spider-Man and Nick Fury, but and this page is just really, really gorgeous. I mean, yeah, I can see the Buscema pencils in this thing, but Leialoha's inks are just awesome. I mean, they make this page fantastic. So, yep, I love that one. That one I'm sure is going to go for a pretty penny. Probably one of the top 5 pieces for next week, I imagine, as far as sales for those guys in the weekly auction. Next up was this Frank Brunner. This is a cover from a Marvel book, Unknown Worlds of Science Fiction, but just really nice. I mean, obviously we've been seeing a lot of Frank's work on the market out there. Of course, most of it, pen and ink related stuff, but I thought this painted piece was really cool from 75, and I didn't check the size on it, see what how big it was, but irregardless, I mean, it's a really cool piece of art, and I like the gag, right? I don't know what's going on there, but I can get a fine gist of it. But this is really, it's nice. I mean, a color piece from Brunner. I like it. And I'm sure that one will go very well as well. So it's already, well, it was at 725 when I looked at it earlier today. Then Jaime Hernandez. I mean, I love his work anyway, but this was just a fun page. I love that top panel split, the way that's done there. And just, his work on the ladies in this series were just pretty awesome. And this is from volume 2 of Love and Rockets, but really nice page. And one day, Albert had a lot of Jaime artwork at San Diego, but none of the pages really hit me. So that one, that would be a piece I'd pick up. And I did this one just for Chris. It's a Marvel Fanfare issue 20 page, Jim Starlin, Al Milgrom. And you got the thing all over this one. And it's good, right? You can't go wrong with Starlin and drawing the thing. And Al Milgrom inks are always solid. So very fun piece here. What we got here? Oh, Zafino X-Force variant cover. This one I thought was pretty cool. This is recent from 2020. Got the Beast there and Wolverine. I mean, I love Zafino's work, and it's a very, very cool piece. Variant cover. And from X-Force. And lots of damage going on back there too. I didn't even notice that sword through the head or something. So I got that. Dale Keown. This is a Incredible Hulk 393 page. Hulk's kind of taking a beating on this one, but very, very nice. Farmer inks on this, of course, and Keown and Farmer together are just a fantastic duo. I mean, Farmer's inks are always awesome as well, but yeah, I love the panel breakup here at the bottom, and the action lines on that panel. Everything about this page very nice. Could have used a little more Hulk, sure, but it's a really solid page nonetheless. I'm sure it's going to do really well for the consigner on that one. And they sticking with the X theme on this a bit. This is a variant cover as well from House of X from Declan Shalvey. Love Declan's work. I never owned anything by him, but one day I should correct that. He's from Cadence, right? So maybe one day we could get Declan on a show. That would be really fun. But I love this one. Love the tonal parts of this. Just really, really well done. Fantastic piece of art. And this one gets me because I like Lee Elias Warp stuff, but his work on Black Cat also is just awesome. And so this is a title page from Black Cat. I think, what was the year on it? 1950. Just, I mean, that this first panel is just awesome. You get the Oldsmobile there, right? And then you get just a really fun image of Black Cat in there as well, choking out a guy. I mean, it's not wise to choke out the driver like that, but she's doing it. And again, just great lettering on this piece. James Cagney looking character right there. I mean, what more? This is a really nice piece. I actually put a bid on it because again, would rather have some Elias War artwork if I could afford it. But Black Cat, I'd take that too. So very nice page here. And I really even enjoy that lettering, the way it's done in the center there, just for a title page. So that one's a good one to look for. And 2 more pieces here. This is a Tim Sale, very early piece from, I believe, 85. And this is from Thieves World. So let me zoom in on that a little bit. I mean, that's something that you would expect to see. But remember, he did a lot of inking on Myth Adventures early on. And so this kind of work kind of fits in with the work that he was doing early in his career. I just really like the layout of the page, and to get something early from Tim would be pretty cool. As everybody knows, I picked up a piece from Spider-Man Blue or whatnot a few months ago. But if I could ever get a Myth Adventures page, I'd kill for that. I really would. I've always I love the series of books when they came out. I read those, and I picked up. I don't think I picked up every issue of Myth Adventures, but the few that I did read were just great, and I'd love to have an early piece from Tim's career. So this is a nice pair of artworks, consecutive pages. What was it? 42 and 43 from that. And last but not least, Tatiana. I'm glad you're here. I picked a piece from Mike McCone. This is from Teen Titans issue 16 with Mike's pencils on it. I know they're battling this guy with the axe, but it's kind of an Iwo Jima sort of moment there as well. But just really, really well done. I love Mike's work, and this is a beauty. I forget who the inking was on it. Marlo Alquiza. I'm not familiar with that name, but nice inks on this over Mike's pencils. So fantastic piece there. And what more? And at DC, see, I don't always just focus on Marvel. It is a cool Titans cover. In very, very true, Tatiana. All right, now I can say I've done everything. Thank you, Heritage, for being a sponsor as always. You know, I enjoy doing these as well. And like I said, it's actually getting me to bid on some of their stuff because I'm actually looking at it, which I normally would not do. So that's good and bad. But anyways, let's get on with this thing. So this CAF update covers the 1st through the 7th of August. Now, dealers, they could not top the week before. Of course, $550,000 is what they reached the week before, with Albert having about half of that, or 60% of that, because he recorded all of his San Diego sales while they were going on. I believe so was Anthony. Or maybe he did it the week after that. That's right. That was the week after. So this week we are at $365,000 in sales, and it's actually dominated by Berkey, because I think he finally consummated some of his San Diego sales and maybe some of his sales from the from that art drop that we did before San Diego. So out of that 365, Mike accounted for 255,000 of that. Panel Page was next with 45,000, Anthony third with 34, and then Albert bringing up the rear with those over 10,000 in sales at $18,000 in sales. Anthony, of course, wins the day with total sales. He had 101 recorded sales for that 34,000 that he did. But you look at the averages there. Mike had 64 sales for the 255. So Mike's more at like $4,000 a page per average, and Anthony's more at that $340 range per page. So it is what it is. But those are your top sellers from last week. Now, as far as the top 6 sales, I'll show you this. Now, my son, he's kind of in the midst of traveling, so he did this kind of on the road. It's a little faster than normal to look at these top 6 pieces. So I'm going to have to talk fast, but I'll do that, and that'll just get us to my segment with Chris even quicker. So here are the top 6 sales from dealers last week. 365 total, as I said. First up, this one's sold by Ramita Man, Dick Ayers, Jack Kirby, Fantastic 4-9 Splash, sold for $65,000 asking price. I can't talk this fast. Gil Kane, John Ramita Sr., Conan, Barbarian, 18. Oh my God, I can't even keep up with this stuff. It's not even worth trying. That's an FF 36 page, Kirby Kirby Stone. This is a Wild Western piece from 55. Ramita again. Man, I can't do this. Thor Annual number 9, Al Milgram. 16,500 from Panel Page. And finally, Frank Giacoya and Jack Kirby pencils, Tales of Suspense, 86, sold by Albert Moy for 15,000. My God, my son he wanted to be done with tonight too, clearly. So, man, I don't even know if it's worth trying to go through these next ones, but I'll do it anyway to show off the come on, I'm trying. Yeah, I got OA Whiplash. That is right. Wow, that was tough. All right, I'll try to keep up better on the auction results. Auction results were a little bit better this past week versus the week before. $329,000 in overall sales between eBay and Heritage, as compared to $282,000 in the week before. Yes, the prices and artists are in video. You can always go back and watch it really, really slow. All right, so 329 total for auction houses, and of that, let's see, eBay amounted for 147,000 of it, Heritage 181,000 out of those totals. So one of the eBay ones was a bunch of naughty artwork, so I had to skip it as far as the top 3 and replace it with a different one. There was that Bill Ward lot of artworks that sold for $4,350. It had 14 artworks in it, and they were all ones where they had spotted out the naughty bits and everything, and I just didn't have the heart to go through it, and I certainly couldn't have kept up with 14 artworks to show you all at once anyway. So I replaced it with a Bob Layton piece. So the third piece that we see here from Heritage is less than that amount, but I had to skip the Bill Ward. Could not show that off. So let's go ahead and take a look at the top 3 from eBay and then the top 3 from Heritage in rocket speed. So first up, this Joe Jusko piece. Said it sold for $5,950. It actually sold for $3,500 with a best offer asking price. Next up, Alex Toth, House of Secrets 48 Splash. Yes, this was colored. Yes, it was painted by Alex Toth. It sold for $4,675 actually. And finally, this Bob Layton Amazing Spider-Man 262 page sold for $3,500. Now over at Heritage, this Tom Dubois Top Gun gaming box art sold for $22,800. Then this Jack Kirby Thor illustration sold for $9,000. And last but not least, a Ron Lim Al Milgram Infinity War issue 6 page sold for $6,300. Wow, I did much better with that one. Dang. Whew. So anyway, but yeah, that Alex Toth piece was kind of interesting. It was listed at $5,500, sold for $4,675. I had to read through the description to really kind of figure out what the heck they had done, because apparently it was even, the art was, I think, laminated on another board, and then they shrink wrapped it, and but it was noted on the back that it was colored by Alex Toth as well. So very interesting piece. I mean, it was colored rather well, so I kind of believe that it probably could have been Toth's work on it, but very, you always hate to see when something's been mounted to foam core and then shrink wrapped, because I mean, I've actually had a piece once like that as well. So they're out there. Some people had some interesting ideas on how to preserve original comic art. That is not the way I would recommend anyone ever doing that again. And I'm sure Jeff Wenning would agree with me that is not the way to go about that. But yeah, good pieces there. I thought the gaming box art, I mean, of course, it was a Top Gun, so you've got the movie going on there, and there are you don't see a lot of gaming box artwork out there, because that was like from a Nintendo. It was from the mid-90s, so it was a very older piece of illustration art. But $22,800 is a pretty strong price for something like that. I did like that Jack Kirby Thor, though. I thought about bidding on it, but I knew 9,000 was not going to be in my wheelhouse right now. So Chris Snork has been really, really patiently waiting. I saw that.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I tell you, I'll be ready when this month is over. But are we in a different perspective of the room, or I'm just feel like I'm seeing more to your left?
Yeah. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll turn my chair because of this light right here. But I don't know, it doesn't look that bad, I guess.
No, it doesn't. It actually makes the room look gigantic. Like you have a museum there.
Oh, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah. Well, it
looks so when I do calf cribs, it'll be like, damn.
Put on the wide angle setting when you're doing it. That'll really trip everybody out. Rich says you're in your garage.
Yeah, and Mikhail, no, I'm less drunk. I'm less drunk, Mikhail.
Right, it's too early.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting.
Give you another hour. Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I really I did not write anything down. We had this whole snafu with the kids' passports. I literally dropped them off at the airport, and I got about 10 minutes away, and I got a call, turn around and come back and get us. We've got an issue with 2 of the kids' passports. So it was just brainstorming on how to fix this situation, so that they can still get out to London by the weekend after next. So I think we have a workaround, but I don't want to jinx it. So I think in a couple of weeks, I'll have a very interesting story for everybody about what my kids had to go through just to play this, possibly their last world championship in Pokemon.
Wow.
But they're going all out to make it happen. But go figure. The thing is, and I didn't know this, kids' passports expire in 5 years, not 10. That's why Maureen, because Maureen was, her passport was fine, but yeah, I guess if you're underage, a passport expires in 5 years, and I think
because their looks change so much, maybe, or
I guess I couldn't figure out why, but I think that might be the reason for it. So both kids got them 6 years ago. So Maureen just assumed they were good for 10 years. Never looked at them, and boom, they expired in 2021. And this is the first time they were traveling anywhere where they needed a passport in 3 years. So, so yeah, a harrowing, a few hours there. But again, I think they have a scenario worked out. But
good luck.
I'm going to Columbus, so I can't help them. So, but yeah, at any rate, so let's get talking about some artwork here. I mean, I know this is early for us both, but we've got, there was a lot. I mean, literally, I think I could have picked 20 pieces. I could probably could have picked 25, 30 pieces. There was so much good artwork added.
It was great. Yeah.
So I'll switch over the screen here and get yours shared. And where are you? Here we go. Got that one. So, but yeah, it was there was just too much good artwork in there.
The first thing I was going to do when you brought me on was say, you forgot to do next promo.
I know. Well, fortunately, I switched back to the right tab that showed me Nick's stuff. But yeah, man, like I say, it's bad. That's why I really do need a script when I come into the show. I mean, it's bad when I kind of try to wing it. So I'm never good at that. But so here we go. We got this is your first pick. I haven't even had a chance to like any of these yet. We've got a Dick Dillon, Frank McLaughlin, Justice League page in the collection of Rob Hughes.
Yeah, so definitely a nostalgia pick for me. The first thing I really got into collecting when I was a kid was Justice League. I liked it a lot because it had all, basically all my favorite characters were in one book, right? So it had Green Lantern and Flash, and that's pretty much all I cared about at the time. Hawkman and the Atom was a bonus, so that was cool. This is just an awesome page with Black Canary, who, like, when I was really reading comics, she had been like retconned out of the book at that point, or retconned back in. I forget. Wonder Woman maybe was retconned out anyway. Strong work from Dick Dillon and Frank McLaughlin here, and Black Canary running around in her fishnets with that outfit that Alex Toth likes so much, and that we like to see him draw her in. So yeah.
No, it's great. I love it. It's a very dynamic page. I loved every panel in this piece. So this was one that I looked at as well, thought about picking because it was done so well. But after I got your list, I knew I didn't have to choose it. So very great piece here. A nice pickup for Rob. And I see, hey Scott, I see the emergency passport. That the problem is it's actually really bad now. I don't know if you've got your passport in the last couple of years, but since COVID, it's an absolute nightmare. I mean, literally, there is no place on the East Coast that has an appointment in the next 3 weeks where you can even go in, and you can't even call a passport location. So it's wild, very, very weird. But it is what it is. But great pick here, Chris. And,
thank you.
Rob should be thrilled with that one.
It's a beautiful page.
And we're going over to Mikhail, and this is a Matt Allison Metamorpho piece.
Yeah, I saw this in person because I was standing next to Mikhail when he picked it up from Cam, and we say this a lot, but pictures don't, or scans don't do this thing justice. It's just incredible in person. It still looks great here, and in spite of the the insane textures and everything that Allison brings to the piece, I think my favorite thing about it is his facial expression. It's kind of confused and mournful, and like all of those like sad emotions that we kind of associate with Metamorpho because of his his situation typically. But yeah, just gorgeous ink work and everything we've come to expect from Matt Allison.
Yeah, no, it's gorgeous. I've got a Super Scroll, just a kind of a headshot in the shoulders piece. It's just amazing. I mean, I could stare at that thing for hours. I was looking at it earlier because I was trying to put together a portfolio to take to Columbus. I figure I'm going to show off some artwork too. I ended up not picking that one, but it was one that I looked at for a while because I figured there probably won't be a lot of Allison artwork at Columbus.
Right.
But no, it's a great piece. And Mikhail, there were a few other pieces that we could have picked, but this is the piece we've picked today. You had a lot of doozies that dropped this week, and this is a good one. I'm glad you picked this one. Yeah, let me go off there and Fish. If my kids had 10 days, we would definitely go the mail route. They don't have 10 days, sadly. So it's either they're going to get creative on how they're going to work this thing out. So moving over to 2000 AD on this one. So Brett Ewins. How do you? I don't know.
I would say Ewins, or like we would say Ewing. I think.
Ewing. Yeah, you're right. Ewins. Oh, very good. Thank you. 2008 AD. No, you got it. You're got to be right. Rogue Trooper pages. There certainly aren't a lot of these on CAF.
No, and I love Rogue Trooper. I love, I think it's one of the maybe underappreciated strips that, was in 2000 AD. I think like Johnny Alpha and obviously Judge Dredd got more attention. But Rogue Trooper is really fun. It's like, to me, it's kind of like Sergeant Rock on acid almost. So it's like Sergeant Rock with a sci-fi bent plus, a healthy dose of that sort of dark British humor that we've all come accustomed to over the years. And, look at the inks on this page. They're tremendous, especially this guy with the gas mask on.
Yeah, it's weird. You're really drawn to that because he's inked very differently, in a way. I mean, they're just kind of little bit more supple inks on the character, probably because of the costume. I mean, it looks like it's some kind of a gas protection probably thing. So that probably lends itself to why he did it. But yeah, no, it's gorgeous and brutal at the same time.
Right.
Took him out with the empty clip.
Great use of sound effects too.
Yes. Smash. Oh yeah. Oh, right there with the E's. Yeah, that's very cool. No, very, very nice. I didn't let's see whose collection was this in. Oh, SR. I don't know if I've well, they're from the United Kingdom, so it makes sense that they would pick a piece from 2000 AD.
SR posted several a few pages, I think, that are from the same issue, but they didn't seem sequential.
Huh. Well, I'm opening their gallery. I can't. I'm sure I've been in their cat. Oh, I see what you're saying. Wow. Yeah, there's there's 3 of them. All right, I'm gonna look at that one later. I love 2000 AD artwork.
Me too.
All right. Next up, we've got. Let me go over to here. Tyler Bentz and a cover recreation. Dark Knight Returns, of course, in Ron Lim's calf gallery. Holy mackerel!
This is a softball. I mean, this is like the easiest pick I could make all week. I mean, there's so much to look at here, and I mean, in turn, there's so much to say. You know, we talked about the texture on the Allison piece, but this is literally just like textural feast. You know, I really love the fat lip, the tears in the costume. Like, there's just so much to love here. It's got the Bentz's kind of signature spaghetti, Batman rope there on the side. He put that in there. The cape is just ridiculous on the floor. I mean, it's next level. This is terrific.
Yeah, no, it really is. Did it say what size it is? I'm curious. No, Ron, oh, there you go. 11 by 17. Man. Oh, hey, well, we can take a look at the prelim too. I did not do that earlier.
And Ron colored it too, which I thought was really cool.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody probably would like to get a piece from them now. So that thing is amazing. Whew. Well, congratulations, Ron. This is a fantastic pickup.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
Gosh,
so many tick marks, Ron.
Yeah. No, that is like Rich. All the stitching. Yeah, man, that is it's crazy. Well, great pickup. That is a really, really nice piece. Dang. All right. That's it. I'll have to add Tyler to my list of people I'd like to get a piece of art from.
It's one of Cam's guys.
Yep. All right. So switching this one over to Dave W. I'll be seeing Dave W. this weekend in Columbus. I got a Ed McGuinness Mark Farmer again. I love Farmer's Inks. So this is from Incredible Hulk 600 DPS double page spread.
Yeah, obviously, right in Dave's wheelhouse, right? This is Hulk doing what he loves to see Hulk do, and I know one of his favorite artists, but I just, that's what I love about McGuinness too. Like, when he draws these like massive dudes duking it out, I'm hard pressed to think of somebody who does this better. The way he like wedges those masses together on the figures is completely like, obviously it's way over the top, right? Because no one looks like that, but it's still at the same time, it's very real. It's very well done. Like, the way he's got his hand and his wrist looped over Red Hulk's forearm, like, that looks real to me. So the anatomy stuff, the figural stuff is just top notch.
No, it's great. I mean, McGuinness's work on Hulk, blew me away. I mean, his approach to the character design, essentially, I mean, was just unlike anything I'd really seen before. I mean, they just look, like you said, the anatomy is just so wrong, but he does it so well. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, that's that first panel is just killer. Details on it are really, really nice.
I mean, to say nothing of the really cool, like, swirly energy vortex background, and like he's throwing Kirby Crackle in there, and I mean, it's just amazing.
Oh, there you go. He's you're getting complimented. Finally, some Hulk art from the ever-loving Snork.
Dave and I give each other a lot of crap about Hulk and Thing, believe it.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that's fair. That is fair. There you go. And Jade says the same thing. David says that completely agree, Chris. Over the top musculature, but it works so well. It really does. I mean, he really came up with a very definitive look of his own for Hulk. I mean, it's just that's really, really great. I mean, again, it's tough to top. I mean, to draw a more beastly looking Hulk than what McGinnis did there.
Right.
Robert, I'm sorry about I don't click on these things often enough. I check them all out, but I just don't. I'll get rid of them for everybody. See, look at that. Got that one. Somebody liked my Matt Allison Super Scroll. That's always
there
good.
you go. Probably just heard you say that.
That's probably true. I got Marcus liked my comment. No way. All right. And I had 10 emails from some people. Oh, that was something we could have talked about. I'm going to make a note of that, and I'll save it for the conclusion of my show, because I'm sure some premium members noticed an email issue last evening into this morning. So there. Now, Robert, I've cleared off all the red dots. No more OCD. I've got it. And look, even in my web browser, you don't have to update it anymore. That my computer rebooted itself last night and fixed it, and it updated itself. So
were you triggering someone with your red dots with your?
I don't know.
Okay.
So let's see. There's a bit of Marvel here tonight. So this is Iron Man 3. Let's get a title DPS by we got Michael Ryan. This is in Paul P's collection. Sean Parsons inks. Wow. Tell me why you like this one, Chris.
So I like when people can effectively draw Iron Man looking like a machine, but also successfully exaggerate the figure, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can easily make him look like a robot, but to effectively make him look like, emoting or really contorted almost, without sacrificing that metallic appearance is hard. And I think that top panel there, or top two panels, I should say, across the DPS, he does that really well. And I think part of it's the staging and part of it's the effects that he used. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I just like this, and I don't think we've ever talked about Michael Ryan before. I think he was a kind of a, been there, and I don't think he works anymore. I mean, in comics anymore. And he had a long run on cable, which was really well received. But I've heard about him in a long time.
No, I think you're right. And I'm pretty sure we have not featured anything by Michael in the past either. So, I mean, it's a great piece. I would agree with you on everything you said about Iron Man as well. I mean, nice inks on this page as well here. A little bit. This is really, really well done. Who doesn't love a good DPS, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Paul P's collection continues to. Here, I want to take a look at the color piece since it's in here. Average coloring.
Yeah.
We've seen worse.
Washed out, honestly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's another fine addition to Paul's collection. Paul sent me a really nice email the other day, just talking about all the things we do here on the CAF update. Honestly, Chris, I mean,
that's cool.
We're doing good work here for the hobby, talking about art and helping give people different perspectives on just appreciating the medium more. I've certainly learned a lot, and I think everybody in the audience has as well. Just a comment from Tatiana on Michael. Michael Ryan is one of my favorites. Really bummed when he stopped doing comics. He had some issue with his hand or wrist a while back. He did a few more things and then just nothing since. That's too bad.
Well, repetitive stress disorders is a huge thing in this business, in the industry.
Doesn't surprise me. All right, so moving over to Shemp's CAF Gallery. Member since 2003. What is his ID number? I got to find out before we look at the art. 332. Wow.
Woo.
That is a first-year member right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this is a Mike Zeck commission piece. I've been looking for one like this. So this is a really, really gorgeous piece. Let me get the like on here.
Outside of Punisher, Cap is definitely my favorite character to see Mike Zeck do. And what I think is so cool, well, there's a few really cool things about this. Obviously, the fact that it's kind of like action in spite of the fact that it's just it's a bust, I think is really cool. There's these bullet impacts going on. Cap's using his shield, which is great. His expression is also, like really typical Zach, which is to say that it's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all in pencil, which I thought was so cool. Those dark darks, those black blacks, that's all pencil. So the fact that like you could, I wouldn't, but the fact that you could, go have like John Beatty ink this, pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, no, it is. It's gorgeous, and I have been. I've actually been wanting a Cap more than a Punisher, though. I take either one. It's I don't know why. It's like that other piece, the piece of art I bought. It's like I've seen a few, and I just never pulled the trigger on them.
Mm-hmm.
But and of course, you pick the one Marvel piece I have in my DC collection. I don't know what's up with Chris tonight. He's picking a lot of Marvel stuff. How it goes. Jay Giant says that they also need a Zach Cap and a Punisher. See, that's why they're hard to get too, because there's a lot of people that want these kind of commission style pieces from him. I mean, his published work is pretty expensive anymore.
Yeah.
And
I have a little Punisher that's of this kind of like ilk or caliber, whatever you want to say, and I have a nice Deathstroke. But yeah, I do. I would always I really want a Cap, and I keep telling myself like, well, isn't Deathstroke really like the evil Captain America? Doesn't that count? But it doesn't. Shut up, Fish.
It does not count. Okay. Rick is letting everybody know your first two picks were DC.
Thank you, Rick.
Oh man. All right. Well, that nice pick up there, Caesar. So let's see. We got a couple more pieces here to look at. This was our themed, image for the show tonight. I mean, one of us was going to pick this one for sure. So, it was me or you, and I'm glad that you picked it because it's drop dead incredible. Dustin Weaver, and what was it was the variant cover to Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood.
I know I've picked Weaver a few times. I'll probably continue to do it. I love him. I think he's one of the very best artists working in comics today, and has been for the last few years. I'm a sucker for this Black, White, and Blood thing. I don't care too much about Moon Knight. I mean, I don't, dislike him or anything, but like Moon Knight's not a character that like does a lot for me. I'd say the same thing about Wolverine. But both of those characters, when they got the Black, White, and Blood treatment, I found myself really like, focusing in on those pieces. I think it's such an effective technique that spot color red on black and white. We all love to look at black and white artwork, right? It's one of the reasons I think that we like original comic art so much, but the addition of that red is just really effective. I love it.
No, well, it is, and then just the change of the detail in the red, right? I mean, it's more heavily detailed in the red, and then you look at in the window area of the piece where it's just you just get the silhouette of all the windows. But when it's in the blood, it's got the bricks, and yeah, I just love the concept as well. I mean, it's a really interesting take. I mean, a lot like when we commented on different approaches to panels some artists take. I mean, this is just a really fun way where color has played a part in the way that they've kind of chosen to look at their artwork differently. So I
don't know if you noticed, but he actually the black and white sections are actually photo negative.
Well, I was thinking that, but I wasn't quite sure. You're right. Yeah, no, I didn't even think yeah.
Which is another like, why did he do that? But look at how great it looks.
Well, just another reason why it's an awesome piece. When was this published? I see Jason's because he said
it somewhat recently. I think Black, White, and Blood may have just concluded.
Okay.
Yeah, JD's got a bunch of that Josh Cassara stuff from that Wolverine book, which is really nice.
Right. Well, this one's in the collection of Simon K. Those red dots are back, guys, only because if I refresh the page, they'll go away. See, watch. Oh,
you're getting light. Oh, you're getting light.
What happened? Oh, thank you, Dave. You liked my Bill Willingham Amazing Heroes cover. That's with the elementals on it. That deserves a like. And what else did you like? Oh, the David Peterson mouse guard. Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces in my collection, to be honest. That mouse guard piece is crazy good.
You're getting real-time likes.
Wow, it's crazy. I love it. I should pay more attention from now on. So this is in Nick Warmack's collection, and it's Jeffrey Allen Love, and it's got a skull on it, so couldn't hang it here in my house. But
couldn't hang it. You can appreciate it though.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a better look
Um,
at smaller image. Here we go.
I just love Jeffrey Allen Love's technique. Initially I kind of like, I think I tried to keep myself from buying something from him by telling myself that it was limited. I'm like, it's so limited though. Like he's kind of doing one thing over and over and over again, but he's not. It's just, it's like there's a theme, but the technique he's using is similar, but like the fact that he can do this so effectively just tells what a great designer he is, right? Because he's taking like whatever elements, from like, if you say Darth Vader or whatever, like that means he's taking everything that we kind of like think and know about Darth Vader and he thinks and knows about Darth Vader. And he's saying, well, I'm going to do this. And he boils it down to this like very stripped down interpretation. And then he like, in this case, he like, this is a skull, but like, what can't you do with the skull, right? Like it's the building block of like every good heavy metal album cover and, whatever ever made, right? But, this is just what he chose to do with it.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. I do like his work. I mean, it's not, I don't know if I'd be a collector of it, but I'm always intrigued by the pieces that he puts out there. So this is a nice one, good pick, and and it's a good alternative pick after the prior sets of stuff. But no, it's a good one. So what do we got? We have one last one here, and it's a P. Craig Russell Sandman page in my good buddy Joseph Melchior's calf gallery. See, many of us have gotten to see Joseph at Heroes and then at San Diego. But,
I met Joe at Heroes, bought two pieces from him. Anyway, I grudgingly knew I had to pick a Sandman piece this week. So I went with a piece from the only Sandman book that I read start to finish, which was Ramadan. And the reason being is because I am a massive P. Craig Russell fan. So as a P. Craig Russell mark, this was a Sandman pick that I could get behind. And I think this, in spite of the fact that it's a redo, I think it's a beautiful one. I mean, everything that he's got going on in that cloak, and if you scroll down, it trails out into these stars and these little planetoids and things like that. It's just beautiful work. And it's such effective, like cartooning as well, because not only does he have Morpheus and like, everything that's going on with him, but he's got the, sort of storyteller character there in the other panels. And he's illustrated in a very, cartoony way, which is a juxtaposition, pardon me, of how, thoroughly illustrated Morpheus is.
Right. No, it's a gorgeous page. I mean, P. Craig Russell kind of, came onto the scene when the guys from the studio were big. I think he took a lot of influence from them, but he really, really found his own, style. And he's been, I'm a big fan of Russell's work as well, just because of that. I mean, I literally, and when I was going through the portfolio, I didn't buy many posters when those big, it was that era, right? But I had one, and it was a P. Craig Russell poster, and I actually took it to. I didn't burn it. I'm like, I'm not moving. I'm not taking it to Florida. So I actually took it to the Red Cross for them to sell. But but I was like, what am I going to do with this thing? It's not something I want to keep. But I've always, and so I liked his work back in the '80s. His style is just really, really cool, very unique to him. And he's doing great work today too. So. Congrats to Joseph on, I don't know if this was a recent pickup or if it was one that he just decided to show. But I'll have to read through it. Thanks, Craig and Wayne. So anyway, great piece there. Joseph has a fantastic collection. If you've not spent a lot of time in his calf gallery, you should take a look. I'm sure he does not show everything that he owns, but he's always had a good eye. He's been in the hobby for a very, very long time. So he just has a fantastic collection. And this is a really, really nice piece for him. And he's a big Sandman fan. All right. So let me swing over to my folder here. Here we go.
I'm excited to see what you picked this week because, as you said, it was kind of a cornucopia.
It was tough. I mean, I actually went back and forth adding and removing pieces because I just really couldn't settle on what to pick. And again, I left a lot of really great artwork on the cutting room floor. So starting off, and you're going to see a woman's backside to start off. So I apologize to everybody if you're offended by it. But let me get the sizing on the screen a little bit better here. There we go. So Frank Frazetta, but nobody does a Frank, woman's backside quite like Frank. Right? So this is a painting in Matt E's collection. Matt E, of course, has an incredible collection on CAF. I mean, I think every piece he posts is just unbelievably great. Yeah. So this was a paperback book cover, and I can show you the paperback book cover first too. So as if you're familiar with Frazetta, as I'm sure everybody is, you know that he reworked a lot of his paintings over time. Many people didn't like the reworks that he did on his stuff because he would just noodle at it for years and years and years, and he probably covered up a lot of really great paintings. But in this case, this was a commissioned piece for this paperback cover. It had kind of an explorer guy as the central figure on it, and after printing and it was hanging in the in a studio for a while, he decided it needs to have some naked lady conjurer be the center of focus on that. So that was the approach. I mean, it's you can see it stands out a little different,
but it does, yeah.
Than the other figure. I mean, in a weird way, the other one might look a little better, in its own way, but we'll never know because we don't have a photograph of it. But right. But I like this the way it is, and the thing is, I love the demons and the creatures in the background and the color choices for that planet or whatever that is. I mean, Frazetta does that stuff. He does muddy colors like nobody else, right? I mean, that's the big joke in from kind of like the period for artists, of this genre. They speak about avoiding the muddy colors. You don't want to do that. But Frazetta, I mean, he's a master of it, and I just find that these creatures to be just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I don't even really need the central figure in there. I would have been happy just with it being a creature piece. He could have just blotted it out and it would have been fine. But at any rate, congrats to Matt E on this piece. So Frazetta's, will forever be out of my reach, especially painted Frazetta. But this is a great piece. I'm glad it's on CAF.
Yeah, I think the muddy colors is a piece of it for sure. But the reason that it always still works is because he's such a master of like wedging these shapes together. He really, it's such an effective composition because of how he, lines up all the figures and like makes them one over another. And like, the color doesn't need to be distinct because it's still, the shapes are distinct.
Exactly. And he makes, and it's so effortless too. When you look at the detail on these pieces, you just, he works on these a ton, but the pieces they just come out. They just look so good. I'm losing my voice, dude. No Coke. Sorry, everybody.
Get that man a Coke.
I know. I should have sent Gwen out to buy something for me. But all right, so that's my pick for the first one here. Next up, I could not pick this one. James Henry, good friend of mine, used to run and own the Columbus comic book convention before it was sold to Wizard. And James is somebody I ran into at San Diego, and immediately congratulated him on this piece because I knew he had picked it up. And I even convinced him to be on at an interview show sometime soon. So I hope to have him on the show in September. But we've seen this piece before. I can't recall which collector was it. It was an interview, a joint interview we did early on with Will and Glenn and Mike. But this is just a fantastic piece. I mean, John Byrne with a lot of his Marvel characters, that he had worked on in a 15, 20-year span there. And, I mean, what more needs to be said about it? I mean, I'd love to own this page. It's gorgeous. I think it's oversized as well. Just packed with characters. And, it was like, what was it? Well, I think it was like a house ad for Marvel. Yeah. But still just gorgeous piece. And I could tell just from talking with James in San Diego, he was so thrilled to have this piece in his collection. He's already got a really nice collection, but adding this to it just is, I mean, where do you go from here once you get this piece out?
Yeah, you don't. I was just going to say, I mean, if you're a Byrne fan, like this is literally everything you could want. right?
Mhm.
I mean, unless you're a Burn DC fan, and do those exist? I mean, there's got to be.
Oh no, they're out there. They're out there. I think there's a lot of Burn Superman fans out there. I know that. I mean, I don't
That's
know.
true. That's true.
There's a lot of people I think look affectionately back on his time there, and with the Superman run and his work on Action Comics and whatnot. But I mean,
Compared to Marvel, though, it's kind of
right
overshadowed, I would say.
Yes. Yeah, I can't remember when it was sold. I know it was sold in Heritage, but I thought it would have been like the last signature auction, whenever that was in July. I could be wrong, but I could go back and look. But irregardless, I mean, it's just a great piece, and I mean, it's like I say, he's got to be pretty darn happy with this. I mean, you can't top this. You can't get a better Burn piece if you're a Marvel fan outside of a published cover, maybe from X-Men, or I don't even know.
Even then, I mean, I don't know. Like, this just has so much. It's so fun because it's everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's Alpha Flight, it's Avengers, it's FF, it's Hulk, it's X-Men, it's Power Man and Iron Fist are on it, for Christ's sake.
And he only did a few of those, but yeah, no. Yep. I can't believe Paul let this one go either, right? It used to reside in Columbus, I believe. So yeah, but it's out there in James's hand, and it's another. I don't. What Paul, or Dave, you would know is James? Does he live in the Columbus area? I mean, I know he owned the con and everything before it was sold, but I never really asked him where he lived. Curious if the art stayed in Columbus, but we'll keep moving along here. This is in Dino's collection. Just a super classic John Romita Sr.
Bricks.
Lots of bricks, of course. But gosh, I never even thought about that. We've seen Mike punch bricks like this at the beginning of Dueling Dealers. But anyway, who has, we've all seen this image. We all love this image. Sorry, Dave. I'm sure you'd probably love to have this image, but it's in Dino's collection. It's just, for me, it is a definite nostalgic pick because it's just such a wonderful image that, you've seen so many times before. Wall power. All Quant's Kool-Aid, says Jeff Wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Ron says he'd rather have the 236 cover. Yeah, there's a lot of FF covers that are probably that would be high on my list as well. But again, that's still that we're talking about the prior piece again. But yeah, when you think back on it, those FF covers were pretty darn awesome. The Ego cover, I mean, man, there were some just some just amazing a Doom cover that it just stands out. I mean, man,
the cover where She-Hulk's taking the boot to the side.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and that doesn't even okay, all right. John Byrne, was the man back in the day. So yes, Jay Giant did say that he would love to have this in his collection. But so this is a wall poster art by John Romita Sr. twice up too. Interesting. Very, very nice. But congrats to Dino. Dino's got the eye. He always adds great artwork to his collection. So it's a calf gallery that I've watched for forever because you never want to miss an update by him. And congratulations on adding this one to your collection.
He's the dean of calf.
He is the dean of calf. Switching a little over here. This is a Bernie Wrightson piece. And I forget. Don. Let me see here. Just make sure I got it right. Don Emery. Yes, Don Emery's calf. This is from a fanzine, but I mean, it was really hard for me to pass up a nice early Wrightson. I always love the light, brushwork on the characters. Just the gradation of these is just so nice, and I mean, nobody does it like Bernie, right? I mean, look at all the textures in the back of the hand. That it's just damn. More. I don't know. I'm looking at this more, and it's just so crazy good. I mean, look at how the detail and the inking work in this bottom panel with the witch and the cauldron. I mean, everything's
and it's got smoke, it's got bottles, it's got skulls, it's got grass, it's got Donald Trump's head there on the left. Yeah,
it does. I didn't even notice that. Son of a gun. But yeah, I mean, this is such a fun piece, and And I mean, you just think about what if I was Wrights and doing this, he's just having lots of fun throughout this. How could he not drawing stuff like this?
Well, you wouldn't do this if it wasn't fun, right?
Yeah.
If it was torture, it wouldn't look like this,
Right.
because you would have given up halfway through.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely correct. But yeah, looking at it, I mean, and it's fun. I mean, the more I look at it, the more I like it. Just the lighting in this bottom panel with the witch, the way the walls are lit, the shadow on the post,
From the cauldron. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's and how bright the white hot the bottom of the cauldron is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, God, it just now I like this thing twice as much as I did before I picked it. So. So yeah, congrats to Mr. Emery for adding this piece to his collection, and especially for sharing it on CAF too, because it is gorgeous. All right, and Tatiana, nice to have you in the chat tonight. And this is yes, Avengers Volume 7 Issue 10. But man, look at this Alan Davis piece.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even need to say anything about it because it's so darn good. But I mean, the layering of all these characters and the inking, style is consistent. A lot of times, maybe you'd see, them trying to kind of define depth in some way. Well, you don't even need that here. Everything is drawn consistently, and the characters are just so well defined, in the space that they're in. This thing is just, it should. If it wasn't printed this way, it should have been, because it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I could stare. As an X-Men collector, this piece would be one of my most favorite, cherished pieces. It is so well done. I mean, the Colossus. I mean, every character is perfect. So, and I've always loved
an X-Men collector. I'd love to have this. I mean, this is just nuts. I love it.
Why is Thunderbird alive? I don't know. It's probably a good question, Marcus, but again, this thing is, it's just great, isn't it? I mean, the more I look at it, the more I'm loving this thing. Storm is awesome. I mean, and I always like the way he drew Wolverine too.
Oh, Davis Wolvies, yeah, so good.
Yeah, I mean,
even Sunfire kind of squeaked into the back there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, man, doggone it, Tatiana, good pickup here. So I'm glad it's in your collection. I mean, Alan's just. He's somebody I've never owned any artwork by Alan. Although I do have an Excalibur page set aside over at Mr. Berkey's finally. So I found one that I like, and I'll probably have it before the end of the year. But
awesome.
but this is fantastic. So wow. I couldn't not pick this one. Yeah.
Top 5 for me are of all artists of all time, easily. Love Alan Davis.
All right. Well, congratulations to Tatiana. And let's see. Now, this one was a commission in Comic Art Boston's CAF Gallery. And I still see that bug now. It's going to drive me crazy. I'm going to have to fix that. But this is our regular chatter, Comic Art Boston. Usually he's always in the Dueling Dealers shows. But this is by Chris Stevens. So it's a wall power commission, as we know. That's coined by Felix. But just cool. I mean, I love that. The way Spider-Man's drawn here, a little funky, a little weird. But Chris Stevens' work, whether it's in color or black and white, but especially in color, is just always drop dead gorgeous. I mean, his sense of color, the tones in them. I mean, everything is so subtle in this piece. To pull out the musculature, using the color as much as some of the gray tones in there is just. I mean, you look at like the tendons in his arm right through here. It's just, I mean, it is crazy good, and that's a classic image of Ditko at the bottom. So just a fun piece. I mean, this is a piece when you commission somebody to do this, you're going to keep it for a very long time. It's just it's personal, right? For something like that. Chris was a great person to pick for this, and I just loved it from the moment I saw it.
It's beautiful. His understanding of lighting is just. I mean, not singular certainly, but it's way up there. I mean, he's the way that he thinks about light and color, and even on his tonal pieces, the non-color, the ink pieces, the form and like the way he hits the forms with light, it's just it's basically perfect.
Oh yeah, I mean, anybody getting a commission by him will not be disappointed. And I didn't even, yeah, it was so fun putting the Spidey page there on the table. I didn't even notice that before because I was too fixed on the way he drew Spider-Man. But yeah, Kirby thing should be the next project.
I have a thing by Chris Stevens. He's fighting Super Skrull.
Do
in
you?
the corner. You can't see it.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to check out your calf gallery afterwards.
It's in there.
All right. Well, did I like the Epic? Yeah, we got my like on that one. Comic Art Boston, fantastic pickup there. Now here, so switching, I had to pick a Sandman piece too. I felt obligated, right? I mean, there was so much art going up on calf since the show came out. So I picked a piece by Guy Davis. I've always really enjoyed Guy Davis's work, and this one's. It's just I love the way the panels kind of break up. The Morpheus character here, unnecessary, but just helps in the storytelling so well. I mean, as far as
definitely,
the way he's broken up the word bubbles throughout it. I mean, it's just so dang smart as far as
it's temporal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're progressing like through the dialogue so that the panels serve a purpose in spite of the fact that like for the purposes of the image, it does nothing.
Right, exactly. But for the storytelling, it's everything. And so, yeah, I just loved the piece for that. And there were so many really, really great Sandman pieces posted too. But Guy Davis is somebody I might have picked one piece of art from them.
I know I did once upon a time too. I want to say it was a Sandman Mystery Theater.
Yeah, you're right. I think so. But so to me, it's like it was a rare opportunity. And when I saw this one, I was like, well, this is the one I'm going for. So yeah, really nice. And I wish it was a bigger scan too. I think the detail on this would be because it looks like some Zipatone in it as well. As probably I don't know some brushwork, some tonal stuff that I'd love to be able to see more detail in here. But hey, I'll take what I got. And this was in John Butler's calf gallery, another long-term member. What's his ID number? 2,213. So he's been a calf member since 2004. Just about ready to celebrate his 18th anniversary. That's fantastic.
Oh, NSN says this is from Sandman Mystery Theater.
Oh, it is?
I forgot that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even read the title.
Yeah. I forgot that they put the two together.
Well, thank you, NSN, for pointing that out because I wasn't even paying attention. I just love the imagery. So thank you. Not enough embalming art picks. Yep, that's true. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Butler, for putting that one on calf. Now, here's another small scanned piece, but I really, really like this page a lot. First Kang issue of Avengers from issue 8. This is in David Miller's calf gallery. So, historic in that regard, but I loved the 6-panel layout. I love that the 4th panel with just the action lines defining the characters in particular. I just thought that helped make it really stand out. I mean, it's all classic Kirby stuff going on here, and even with the storytelling, that last panel with Thor's hammer coming down, I've heard enough. It's just fun. I mean,
Kirby Airs is nice too.
What's that?
Kirby Airs is so nice too.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it's early Avengers. I mean, this is when Marvel was just figuring things out and I'm sure everybody was. Well, they were probably sweating deadlines, but I mean, man, what a fun time to be working for the House of Marvel on something like this. And so, and now you got Kang, important part of whatever they're doing movie wise going forward, but just a really great page. I mean, I'd love to have seen this one in more detail. I think the brushwork, we're kind of missing a little bit there because, look in the figures in particular, like in that 3rd panel, I just would love to see that, twice as large. But yeah, great page, great piece of Marvel history here, and I'm glad it's on calf.
Me too. Love Kang. Can't get enough Kang.
Yep. True. All right. So congratulations, David Miller. I've got 2 more pieces here. And this is another artist I probably haven't picked too often. This is Gary Gianni, the Shadow Page. This is in Jeff Singh's collection. If anybody's familiar with Jeff's collection in general, I mean, every piece is top notch. But I love Gary's ink work. I always have. Yeah. And this page in particular, just when I saw it, I was drawn to the thumbnail initially just because the large central panel that kind of blends into those middle 3 ones just was done in a kind of a darker ink and even outlined in it. but I just thought that made the page even more interesting. And I really did like the way those 3 inset panels just kind of break up what could have been, maybe a fine story, way to lay out the page, but it's just an interesting way to drop those 3 in there. So panel to panel to panel, it's great. There's there's lots of bricks in it too, but just great line work in here. I mean, it's like that, again, I go back to that middle panel, the water, the shadows here on the brick archway here and here. I mean, it's like a woodcut practically the way it's done in through here. Just great detail.
Yeah, if you want to talk about hatching, Gary Gianni's is definitely your guy. He's using a lot of it, to be sure, and very effectively. I saw this after I already had my 10. Otherwise, I definitely would have picked this too. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, congratulations on this pickup, Jeff. And Jeff will be in Columbus, everybody. It was kind of a last minute thing he was able to work out with his schedule, but he's on his way there tonight. So he will be there for the Billy Ireland tomorrow, and he'll be at the con and the Marvel exhibit. So we get to hang out with Jeff all weekend long. So I'll be very interested to see what pieces he brings in his portfolio. He said he was bringing some stuff to show off. Let's see. So I got one more, and this was Capullo. This is a DC page, but I look at this thing. The water on this thing alone made me want to pick it. Just the heavy downpour. Let me go for the detail here on this thing. Look at that. I mean, it's like a growth. There's so much water on there. It's like a Richard Corbin like fungus growing on the back of these guys. It's so heavily drawn, but I loved it as an effect, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you do that, and then he another artist might have just went for some heavy line work, right, to illustrate rain around them. He's kind of gone the opposite. He just put in enough lines to let us know that it's raining, and then he goes heavy on the detail as far as the water splashes off the back of here. I mean, it's like Batman's cutting through the rain, right? I mean, he's still very minimal on the line work, but just look at all that water pouring off of him. It's just a crazy, beautiful page. So, I mean, I had to pick it, and even here,
that's awesome.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm always hard pressed. I'm not sure if I like Glapion on Capullo or Mickey better. And this page is a great case for Danny Mickey.
Yes, yeah, without question. But yeah, I really like the this panel here. I just thought it was an interesting, from going from this pose here with the character almost on top of him to leaping over like that. I just thought the storytelling on the page was really well done too. And then just I like the inset here, grabbing the cape. Again, it was more than just the rain, but I really enjoyed this page a lot, even though it was DC. So yeah, like Marcus says, I'm toughing it out with DC. And I should have picked an Olivia Newton-John portrait. I'm sorry, we have enough Olivia Newton-John last night when with Anthony and Sharon. Maybe not. I didn't even look at the color piece. Let's see. Well, interesting color choices, I guess.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I liked that Capullo used the purple gloves when he did his Batman costume.
Very, very nice. Let me get that. So, and this was in Andrew G's collection. So Andrew, a new member to CAF, May 2022. My goodness, what's his ID?
Oh, wow.
175,836. So there you go.
Contrast to Shemp.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious. I mean, so somebody who's been here since May, how many pieces of art have they added to their CAF gallery? Only 18 so far. But what do they got? They've got some. They've got Jock, Jim Chung, Dave Gibbons.
That's a month.
Boy, yeah, that's not bad. So and definitely, I mean, I haven't looked at all the artwork, but you've got
quality,
very well represented. Bill Sienkiewicz is in the list. Jim Lee. Who we just looked at.
Starlin, Kubert.
Keanu Reeves is in there. What did Keanu Reeves draw?
What the?
Oh, it's Keanu Reeves is the writer. He lists. So Andrew lists the writers, which is always good. I saw Alan Moore was in the list. So, but a Berserker cover and Lee Garbett. Okay, cool. Hey, love it. That's probably one of the few times you're going to see Keanu Reeves listed as a creator here on CAF. Probably not the last time though.
No.
But cool. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and add Andrew to my watched gallery.
Ooh, Andrew, you just leveled up.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at this Sienkiewicz. Oh, he got the. Remember, I think this was in. Didn't we do this in a heritage recap? Holy mackerel! Look at that.
That does not suck.
Nope. Doggone it, man. That is awesome.
Wow.
I always, I always loved when Sienkiewicz drew, where he gets the crescent there out of the cape.
Yeah.
Because he used that a lot.
And you've really got it in here like 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, doggone it, that is
a great page.
Whew, that last panel. Look at that, all the heavy darks on that thing, and it still is just rocking. My gosh, I'm jealous of that one.
The architecture in that first panel is no slouch either.
Whew. Boy, you're getting the best of Sienkiewicz in this piece.
Man alive, yeah, that's awesome.
Wow. Well, hey, I did do at a bin dive over at Berkey's. I found the title page to Moon Knight. Unfortunately, Moon Knight's not Spectre's hand is on it, but it's like from issue 8 with that guy that turned into a vampire, and it's got like 2 photographs of like the guy before and after. But it's like, Mike, how long have you been sitting on this? He's like, I don't remember when I got that. What have you done? I can't believe you. He's such a whatever. Anyway.
He's like the dealer equivalent of a black hole collector.
Exactly. Except
how does that work?
I know. He's like, one of these days, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it all to somebody else to sell for me, like Heritage or something. I'm like, why don't you just get it out there now?
Jeez,
so
Mike.
I did. He just so everybody going to Columbus knows. I said, listen, we got to have some kind of a feel like a bin dive here. So what are you gonna let me do? I said, how about you let me select a bunch of artwork out of bins that you don't have priced, that aren't on your site, that nobody knows about, and we'll just make one bin of that. And he's like, but then I'll have to take offers or whatever.
Price it on the fly.
You'll have to figure it out, or you'll tell them you'll take it home and figure it out. But so yeah, anybody going to Columbus will actually get to at least experience the semi thrill of a bin dive, but it's semi curated by me. I did spread it out. It's a lot of Marvel, a lot of DC, everybody, but all unpriced stuff that
I'm doubly hurt to miss it now. That sounds fun.
I know. Well, I wish I could have done 2. I didn't have time, but 1 is more than enough. So all right. Well, hey, Chris, as always, fun. See, I knew we couldn't do an hour and a half. I say an hour and a half when we go to 2 hours. It's all right.
We tried. 2 hours is speedy for us.
It is still, you're right. It is still speedy. It is.
Right.
But I appreciate it, Chris. And so we'll be at it again next week. I will still be in Ohio next week, but the weekend after next is the one I'm going to be driving down to Florida. And then after that, I don't think I'll be coming back to Ohio except for like a final clean out the things I'm leaving to make the house look presentable for the sale. So that'll be it. I'll be down in Florida setting some stuff up and hopefully getting an office organized within a couple weeks. So
all right, awesome.
All right. Well, I look forward to. I wish you could have been there this weekend too, Chris. I know that.
Me too, man. I'm looking forward to photos. The irony is that the thing that I couldn't go to Ohio for fell through because because the honoree, the big birthday boy, caught COVID this week.
Oh man.
But I will be drinking a lot of really terrific beer at Great Taste of the Midwest instead.
Oh, cool. That's a local brew fest type.
The Madison Homebrewers Association puts on a huge beer festival. I want to say there's 100 breweries from the Midwest. There's even people from as far away as Ohio that come. So
dang, yeah. Oddly enough, in the center downtown Chardon, I started a brew fest with some other people in a civic group to do on the square, and it's this weekend as well. I'd be going to it because I always had a good time there. It's on Saturday, not Sunday, so good time. But I'm sure you'll have fun.
No doubt about it. All right, thanks, Bill. Thanks, guys.
All right, Chris. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks. All right, everybody. So, like I said, I will. Some of you might have noticed a glitch in the Matrix, and yesterday. And it was funny because Margaret mentioned it during Dueling Dealers right at the beginning. So right around like 7:55, all of a sudden I couldn't get my get mail. I couldn't pop my mail servers that are hosted in the same location where our servers are at. And so I couldn't get my mail for comic card fans or my business email address. And so I sat around waiting like 20 minutes. I didn't want to send a support email out because it was 8 o'clock. And then I think around like 8:15, 8:20, I checked and their website wasn't working either. So then I got nervous. So I sent a couple support emails and didn't get my customary email back, automated, hey, we've logged your support request, blah, blah, blah. So then we're getting close to Dueling Dealers. I've already noticed that, of course, the hourly emails haven't gone out. The 8 o'clock and the 9 o'clock didn't go out. And the want list emails that we send out to premium and non-premium members weren't going out either. So what that told me was that somehow their whole network was down. Our stuff was still up, but the problem is that we send our mails through to their mail server, and their mail server hands out sending it. So what happened was we were running these reports and trying to send them, and they were bouncing back. And so eventually, and it's being sent from our database server. Well, the database server eventually just says, I'm just going to stop sending these. I'll keep creating these emails, but I'm not going to even try to send them, because after an hour and a half of it not working, it just felt like it shouldn't keep doing it. So it stopped. And they did fix the mail issue by about 9:30, 10 o'clock, but because SQL decided to stop, the problem is that really the only way to fix it was to reboot the SQL server so you could convince it to start sending the mail. So those of you who didn't get your want list emails or your hourly keyword alerts that come out for premium members only, they were all queued up, and they all were sent out the moment the SQL server rebooted. And I believe that happened right around 7:55 a.m. I got up early and just did a reboot of both servers and patched them and all that stuff. So I apologize for that. It was completely out of my control, but it just makes me realize that we should probably come up with a fallback service for email for situations like that. I can't say I've ever seen that happen before, but it messes up everything. It really, completely, because when that goes wrong, even the forums on Comic Card Fans get queued up from that. Now, the cool thing was that the issue was with the database server sending the automated emails that we send out. The moment the mail was fixed at say 9:15 or whatever, people using the contact forms through CAF, everything was fine. But in that 1 hour, they were broken because it couldn't communicate with the mail server to send them out. So yeah. I know we don't like to talk tech here, but I know that some people were worried that things were broken, and indeed they were broken until this morning. So I do apologize for that. And maybe I'll come up with a workaround so that when it happens again, we can just switch to a different service and not have to rely on the people who host my stuff to send the mail. But live and learn. It was the first time in almost 20 years that I've seen something like that happen. So, all right, I am calling it a night. I've got to finish packing, and I'm driving over to Berkey's house so I can be an hour closer to Columbus. So for those of you that are going to be seeing Chuck, I can't wait to get to see you again. I know you're going to be there, and Tyler and many others are going to be hanging out with us this weekend. We've got that 1 o'clock appointment at the Billy Ireland Museum tomorrow, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm signing off. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see everybody again next Monday. Who's not going to Columbus. Next Monday, we will be doing that amateur show with Mickey and DJ. So I hope everybody tunes into that. Like I said, really, really choice pieces of artwork are going to be available Monday night at 9 Eastern. So again, have a great weekend. And some of you I'll see tomorrow.